G'day and welcome back for more Survival Impossible. I thought before I head back, I'd just have another look through the thrusters that are still left on this panini and have a bit of a think about how I could go about bringing this thing back. A lot of people were saying I should probably try and fly the thing back, but the reason I wasn't thinking about that when I first came up here was that none of the directional thrusters are actually intact and it is sliding down the hill. This one is just a single steel plate, so that's of no value to me. The one next to it is also just a few large steel tubes, some construction components and steel plate. This one is just a couple of steel plate. And then we've got a few lifting thrusters that actually have some valuable materials still in them. So those are actually worth something. Same with this battery, this gyroscope. The gyroscope's really worth something because it's got the 50 metal grids in it. But I don't really have anything else that's a steering, well, that'll allow me to fly this in any mode but helicopter mode. And flying something big like this in helicopter mode is just asking for trouble when it's me at the helm. So, I think what I'm going to do is see if I can... see if I can escape in the absconder before that launches a drone at me. Because I don't need to be hanging around here to talk about this. 0.6, let's get out of here. Oh! Power slide! Of sorts. Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know if I can get out this way. Oh no, I can't. I can't. Oh, this could get messy. I'm gonna have to run away from a drone. I can't get far enough away in time. And I don't think I can. Yep, too late. Drone incoming. I gotta get back to base. The drones have been changed. They will now go after grids after the nearest target, whether that's a grid or a player. It'll no longer just chase me, so I can't easily use myself as a decoy. Which means I also need to spend a bit of time today getting on to building some of those... Oh. How is this easier in the dark? Oh, that's a bit fast. That's a bit fast. That's a bit fast. Where's the... How far is the drone? Oh, geez, it's right on top of me. Oh, did it just crash? It just crashed. Oh, it just crashed. Oh, phew. Oh, Omicron, you are the bane of my existence, but you're also my savior. Alright, let's check that thing out. Because I think the reason this crashed was how high up in the hills I am and the gravity, so it did not have the capability to stop as quickly as it would normally. Now, if you're wondering, the drones, as you've seen, they do actually work on Omicron. They just have a bit more difficulty. Oh, I'm so worried I'm going to fall down this hill if I walk across there. They just have a bit more difficulty maneuvering well in this high gravity environment. I hope this doesn't have an intact gun. Jeez, it's right down in this crevasse. Oh. Oh. Okay. There's a surprisingly large amount of that still intact. Oh no, there's not. I'll just grab some of this scrap. Take it back with me. At least I've got a little bit of cobalt from these thrusters. I have totally lost track of what I was talking about before I started having to run away from that drone. I might just reverse back up the hill and try and remember. So basically what I was thinking of doing with the panini was scrap it down to the point where I've just got the remaining bits that actually have some value in bringing them back. But I'm not going to bring them back on the truck like I'd thought about, because obviously this hill is very, very steep, so putting anything heavy like that on the back of a truck is probably a bad idea. What I think I'll try and do instead is see if I can get the crane to get up here empty. Because if the crane can get up here empty, it can get down from here empty. In theory. So what I could do is actually rearrange the thrusters on this thing in such a way that maybe the remaining thrusters will be able to lift it and have some directionals so that I can fly back home a bit more safely, or at least fly this near the stone mine so that I can make sure that all of the bits that I've taken over are actually mine. The fear being that if I fly this near my base, I will just get shot. That's kind of my thought. If I can use the crane up here to rearrange this thing a bit, that could be really helpful. And part of how I might do that would be to build some sort of crane rig as well. Something cheap, just to try and level this thing off so that I'm working on a bit of a more stable platform, and then I can build a bit of a working bay out here that I can drive the crane onto and be level so that everything's working in a slightly better environment than on a 45-degree slope. That's the idea. I think what I'll do is come back here with the crane and some equipment, like some extra steel plates, that sort of thing, so I can grind these down and take ownership of as much as possible as I go. A few other people mentioned that they were worried about me grinding down this cargo container. Don't worry about that. Because I am such a mean person when creating NPC mods, my perspective on putting loot in those cargo containers is that they don't usually have any, or if they do, it's not very much. Because the ship itself is so much loot that if I added extra loot into the cargo container, then you'd kind of end up with too much stuff, and that'd kind of ruin the resource collection loop of the game, so I tend to not have anything in there for that reason. So that's the case with all of the assertive mods. I've slowly started adding some storyline-ish bits in there, like some data pads and little bits of stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't have much value, but can make it at least interesting to look at what's in the cargo container. But if there's any of that in that Panini's cargo, I should be able to get that when I grind it down anyway. And it's better to grind it down than to bring it back with those two interior plates in it, because grinding them off, they weigh nothing. Leaving it in, it weighs as much as an entire large cargo container. And when I'm already going to be struggling for the number of thrusters I can get on it, that will be a problem. What I think I'll do before I come up here again though, since by the time I get back and get a few things settled, it'll be nearing dark times, I might instead build a couple of outrigger decoy things. Because I've got an idea of how I could put something like that together in a somewhat attractive package, and also hopefully an effective large grid, static grid package, because I don't want to do the small grid, loose sandbag things like I did in Survival Maybe, the first single player series I did. Because there were some issues with that. It worked really well for what it was, but there are some small performance impacts that I'd prefer to avoid in this instance. Plus, the added range of large grid is always an advantage. I parked the Absconder over here, so it's got a bit of an easier exit. I think I'm going to use Manny as my hauler for all the equipment that I need for these little watchtowers, I guess I'm going to call them. In fact, since I'm almost certainly going to be using the Capac Decoy as the decoy inside it, watchtower suits quite nicely. But Manny is full of iron right now, and I think my small cargo containers on the base are getting quite full as well. Might actually need to come up with a way to build a few more of them onto the base, since I should probably also be collecting all of those drop pods. They've been sitting out there for ages, and the main reason I haven't collected them is that storage is an issue. But I don't want to build the full big storage thing yet, because I've still got so many other things to do. No, focus, Splitsie. Oh man, I came so close. Oh, the number of people who've pointed out the number of times that I have thought about building the decoys and then gotten distracted by something else, and I was about to do it again. I was about to start building some cargo so that I could start collecting more of the drop pods. No, don't do that. Alright, let's have a look at what I think I'm going to need in order to build these towers in terms of the bigger blocks. I'm going to need some armor, but we can just make sure we add some extra bits of, what am I saying? What am I thinking? I can just add some extra steel plate to put in for that. I am going to want to have a small cargo container in large grid, I'm going to want to have a turret. I'm going to want to have a Capac decoy. I reckon I'm going to use... Where's the sitting down one? There it is. Capac chair decoy. I want to have a few neon tubes for power cables. And a wind turbine. And a battery. That's going to be the bulky stuff. Might just add... Oh, and a door. I think I need to use something that I don't often use. Oh wait, it's forklift, isn't it? Money stuff. So, if I do this, and go small cargo, and then withdraw components for build planner. Don't have 15 metal grids and 2... Okay. That worked quite well. I really need to take advantage of that more often. Having everything on this side that where I want it to go, and everything on this side being where all the stuff is. There we go. That's all the kind of production-y stuff. So let's grab a few more of these. So I reckon I'll need more than just a couple. And then with the stuff for those on board and some armor plate, I should be good to go. I might just take enough for a ladder and a stair, because I'm not sure which of those I'm going to end up using. I'm leaning towards a ladder because I want to make this more tower-like and also a little bit smaller. And ladders tend to give you a bit of a smaller footprint. And it looks like I'm going to comfortably be able to fit what I need inside the forklift storage, which is great, because that means I can just take the forklift out to build these things and then come back. I could maybe even try and pick up a drop pod on my way back. Try and, you know, double up the use of each trip. Unlock. So, most of the drones seem to be coming from this direction, so I'm going to start from that way. And hope that that ends up being the right decision. It also means that I'm going to be protecting the Arboretum, which is the least easy to protect building. Or the most difficult to protect one. Needing to have all those wind turbines on there to try and power up the daily needs stuff means that I can't really put as many turrets on there as I might like. Let's find a relatively high point. This little hill here might do. Don't want to be too far from base, but I don't want to be too close either. These are supposed to be forward defenses. Alright, so what I think I'll do is start with our battery. And yeah, we'll build it with Snowy. So the bit with the turret I think should have the battery as well, rather than separating, because I'm going to put a separate wind turbine tower, similarly to what I've done with the assertive bases. So, battery... let's put a line block on top. Maybe something like this. Could even... Oh yeah, that'll... I could even try and keep it this skinny. If I put, say, the Capac decoy directly on top of this bit of armor here, and then a door on one side, cargo container above it, turret on top of that, and then have, say, coming off the back here, because most of the drones will probably come from that direction. So if I put the power source behind it, it'll be less likely to be targeted first. So any repairs hopefully won't be on the wind turbine. I could do something like... Where's my... There we are. Oh no, I need some interior plate. I could use these neon tubes as power conduits. Something like this. Yeah, like that. And then I can put a wind turbine on top of that. I could even put it directly on top, and I might try and put it one block higher again. That Panini, I think, is going to be flying high enough. Then let's pop ladder, since I've done that on that side. Put a ladder on this side. I'm going to need to weld that up so I can even get up there. Because if I can build the ladder, build the wind turbine, build the battery, and then I can start fiddling around with the rest of it. That should do the thing that I was mentioning last week, which is build the battery first, so that you don't have to worry about doing the rest. Manny, you don't have any ice on board, do you? No. Drat! Can I quickly drill some from? Where have I already caused a dent in the ground through things crashing? So I'm not adding more terrain deformations. Okay. Where the Reaver was. Grab some ice quickly so I can refill my bottles. And he's got a vent on it, so I can always refill my suit, but it's just more convenient to have my bottles refillable. Back to the construction at hand. I need a... Yeah, I've got everything I need. I might just stick with the armor block to go up this time. Yeah. Turbine. For something like this, I'm kind of liking the idea of leaving this ladder floating, like something you'd have to pull down and grab, or reach up to and grab, considering these buildings aren't intended to be easily accessible. They're more remote outpost type things. Okay, wind turbine, let's get the battery done now. I'm so glad I built Manny with cargo capacity in mind, because it's worked out to be a weirdly useful little cargo vehicle. And when its purpose, aside from the drop pods, was pretty limited, that's really quite handy. Okay, we have battery that is getting charged. These things are not going to be set up to be optimal defensive structures, which, let's be honest, it's me we're talking about. They were never going to be. I was always going to build something that was more about looking the part than actually acting the part. But they should still work. And even if they're not optimal, still working is good enough. What I mean by that is I could have built something that was ugly and really basic, that was pretty much just a dome of armor over a decoy block with maybe a turret on it or maybe not. And that would have been enough. But I think having something out there that's a bit more attractive will be, well, it'll definitely make me happier. Okie dokie. I'm gonna need to have something out here like a wall. Let's try and at least cover these batteries a little bit. This battery, I should say. I need to make sure I repaint the neon tubes to black. Forgot to do that when I placed them down. There you go, power conduit. I think these will look best in their snowy colors, the snowy texture. So for on top, I'm gonna have Capac decoy. Where's my seated one? There we go. There's the seated Capac. I mean, I could have this one. The Capac rifle. Maybe not dance. Waving? Oh, if I was going to stick anything just out of the ground, I might put some of these ones out. Yeah, I'll just go to I'll go with just the chair for now. Let's grab one of these oranges and make it Capac orange, which is that. Okay. There we go. Capac orange. Decoy sitting in a chair. That looks terrifying. That is proper terrifying. I kind of like it. I can imagine making some sort of derelict ruins of a city with these around the place. It's like a statue that lost its head at some point. Maybe it was a monarch that they decided to hate and they decapitated the statue as a sign of disrespect. Yeah, I could totally see using that in that sort of setting. That'd be cool. Oh no, I didn't mean to hit defaults. No. That's gonna be so annoying. Got rid of all my colors. I hate when I do that. Done it a couple of times recently. Try that behind there. Ooh. Maybe we could do this so we can actually see him. Window wall like that. And there. Which means I'm gonna have to go back and get more parts. Which is annoying, but still. And then if I stand in here, I should be able to get the offset door. Like so. And then I have the fun challenge of building the scaffolding above so I can actually build the rest of this thing. Even like this it works. With the snow texture, it really makes it look run down and dilapidated. I wish more of the stuff like the rust texture was on the build states, because that would really add a lot of variety to builds. And since they've been able to do it for the snow one, it makes me wonder why they didn't do it for the rust one. This takes me back. Mining to breathe. Gotta remember to bring some extra bottles next time I come out with Manny. I know that turbine's going to produce very little power, but it should still produce more power than the turret requires, since the turret is pretty much the only thing that's going to consume much power. Oh, I thought I was going to fall off then. Ow! Dang it. Did fall off that time. Let's go with these in here. More of the little slopey dip things in there. I reckon that kind of works. I mean, minus the stairs on the right there, just ignore those. This will be kind of the rough blueprint of what I'm going to use as my defensive turret slash distractions to hopefully occupy any drones before they get to my base. If I build enough of these around the place, they should be quite effective at least reducing the number of things that get close enough to my base to cause damage. And these are supposed to be semi-disposable, as in, I'm quite happy to have to come back out and repair them and replace parts of them. That's fine, because they are just meant to take the damage that otherwise my base would take from things like that going overhead and launching drones at me. Coming up with those... Dang it. Going up that ladder and seeing Capac staring straight at me. I didn't... For some reason my brain just didn't expect it. Cargo container done. I hadn't planned that bit, but kind of convenient that this is a nice slope that you can walk up, because that means I can just use these and a set of stairs off to the side as the way to get... Uh-oh. Ow! Ow! No! Oh, this is bad. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Fall off, fall off. Yes! Ah!
Fuel low.
Thought I was going to die then. I thought I was going to be stuck there and suffocate. Okay. Maybe this isn't the best place to put the stairs in the future. Maybe I need to put some catwalks on there. Well, I'm remembering. Set range to maximum. I think that's welded up everything I need to. I guess if these things start taking a lot of damage, I may have to come up with some different designs. Ones that will allow easier access for repairs. But I can also just bring the Splitsie down here to do the repairs anyway. So it's probably not that big a deal that they're a bit more difficult to access. Hopefully they don't get damaged that often that it's a problem. Okay, we need 20 bulletproof glass and a bunch of construction components. That's not too bad. And then bring some ammo. GPS outpost 1. Just so that I have some knowledge of where they're located, because I'm not going to put beacons or anything on them. I'm not going to put an antenna on it. I'm not going to put... Whoa! Easy, Manny. I'm not going to put anything fancy like that on it. Largely because I'm building them in large grid, and then it makes it huge. Ammo on board. Close the door. I feel like this might need some colour to it. It's a bit bland. Let's grab Manny's red. So that's the same red as elsewhere, and maybe we could do a little bit of rust on the lower parts. And then do snowy on the mid and upper bits. Oh, what the? Apparently it didn't like a piece of Reaver that was lying around somewhere. That's my best guess there. Oh, I shouldn't have ground down the things. I need to be able to get up there. Paint that. Oh, and now I'm getting thirsty to the point of injury. Great. Maybe I can jump up on Manny if I move Manny into the right position. Just want to paint those bits, because then I'm done. Why did I forget water? There we go. And... come on. Yes, there we go. I know I'm thirsty. Alright, my health's low. Fine, I'll head back. Dang it, I missed out on 2 bits.
Your health
I just want to
is
paint
low.
2 bits. Stupid thirst getting in the way of me painting. Ow. Ow. 37 health. It is dropping. It is now dropping. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine though. Had I been worried about it, I would have headed back sooner, but... and arguably I probably just should have, since it probably would have been quicker to come back, get healed, than to try and faff around while I was getting injured. Yeah. Quit your grunting. 32 health. That might be a little bit lower than I should have gone. I think that's 2 red down the bottom there with the rust. Might have to go with white rusty for some of the underbits. Then I just need to figure out how I'm going to get up there to paint that one. And that one. Probably going to be easiest if I just use one of these. Yeah, actually. Go rusty on this underside one too. Kind of mixes it up a bit. How's that look from the other side as well? Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. It's a bit of a different design, but it's still got a... Thanks to the rust and the snow and the coldness of the general environment, I think it still has a bit of that brutal feel that the rest of the base does. And obviously still feels tied into it because of the colour scheme. But I'm pretty happy with that. The thing that I'm undecided with at the moment is whether I turn this door rusty. I think maybe I should. Because then it doesn't look so weird. Now we should probably make this floor rusty too. I'm worried that's going to paint Capac. Nope. Just the floor. Sweet. Windows can stay snowy. That block can stay snowy. The cargo container can go rusty. Might have needed to bring my paint tool for that one. Oh, doesn't really matter. It'll barely ever be visible. Cool. Oh, Capac, stand guard. Draw fire so that my base doesn't have to. I will admit, kind of impressed by the keen artists for how little Z fighting there is there between the offset door and this corner block. That's the sort of thing you normally see lots of that Z fighting, of the shimmering of two things being at exactly the same position. Sweet. Well, that's one of those done, and in the direction that the Reaver came from, so hopefully the next Reaver that comes from that direction too. Ooh. Lights. I know lights don't really make sense on a watchtower, but this is also going to be something that I'm going to need to know how to find. I think I might have made it basically impossible to put lights onto this segment of the tower because there are blocks everywhere and none of them provide an attachment point. I may just have to put something on this. Maybe I'll put an interior light on each side. Oh, I just thought. There we go. Fort Capac light. Yes, that works too well. These can be my forts Capac. They're designed to get destroyed, so it fits just a little too well. For those of you not familiar with Capac, well, you can probably imagine, given what I'm saying, what he's like. And the fact that several forts Capac have been destroyed in the past. Oh wait, I should make a blueprint of it, because then I can just... there's not... It's going to be so much more work to project it than just build it each time. That's actually kind of handy. If I make them lit, I should be able to tell whenever their power sources are taken out. That's one little bit of additional defense. So since I'm going to take the crane up to the wreck, what I'm going to need to figure out is how I'm going to fit some storage on here, because I'm going to need to bring parts up like construction components, some motors, some steel plate, and probably a the lowest tech grinder, so that when I'm hacking some things, I have the least chance of destroying stuff that I actually need. Okay, so what I'm thinking I'll do as just a temporary thing, even though it's not very cost effective, since I'm planning on completely reworking this crane at some point, I might just shove either a couple of medium cargo containers or one large cargo container on the front here, so that I can fill it with stuff. And yeah, I'll have to grind it down later, but since iron isn't really a big worry to me, that shouldn't be a problem. Also, that is a problem though. I only have 2 hours of power left on this thing, and I have no means to connect it to charge. So I will have to figure that out as well when I get up there. I'm going to need to put a connection mechanism on this to hook up to whatever I build up there so that it can charge up there. Because right now, my base only actually gains charge during the day when the solar panels are getting power. I'm going to need to look into that, and I'm not going to let myself get distracted by it now, but probably what I'll need to do is put the couple of turrets that I was planning on putting on this conveyor line, and then the rest of them will need to be wind turbines to gain some extra power. Just to try and put myself in a net positive overnight, even while the refinery is running, and that's why I'm in a net negative. It's a very minimal negative, though. Wait, what? There's a wind turbine that's not running. Maybe that's contributing. My power runs out in 3 days. So it's you know, it's a slow drain, but it's still a drain. And over each, you know, day cycle, I am still better off than I was at the previous one. This must have taken damage. I didn't realize it took damage. I wonder if repairing it's going to be enough. Let's find out. Oh wait, the turrets are up there. I can use them for cargo access. Because they're actually linked up now. So right now, it still says 3 days, right? Battery depleted in 3 days. Current output is about... Oh yeah, this isn't going to be enough. It'll make an impact, but it's not going to be enough. Currently depleted in 10 days. So, still depleted. But that means maybe just a couple of wind turbines on that conveyor linkage will be enough. But even overnight, and with the refinery running, I'll have net positive power. Which would be good, because I often plug my vehicles into charge overnight, and they're not actually charging. They are running out of power. Maybe I should let myself be distracted by that. Yeah, if I've got enough time, what I'm going to do is build the cargo on this, load it up with what I think I'm going to need. Then, instead of working on the Arboretum tonight, I'm going to work on putting a couple of wind turbines up on that conveyor linkage. I think I'll go with medium cargo containers because they're going to be a bit lower. So my lower center of gravity should be better for that climb. And hopefully 3 of them will be enough to bring up enough stuff. Let's grab a few things, load it up. What's the food truck doing? I'll load some food up as well. So I always seem to forget that. Things are actually looking pretty good on this thing. It's nearly fully charged, and it's got a decent amount of food stuffs already made. Like, enough for me to make some tofurkey dinners. Assuming this thing... Oh, that's right. It shows the production even when it's not active. I was wondering why it wasn't actually making any progress.
Energy low.
Now it should actually make one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's annoying. I hate that that happens. Oh, I can just grab some meal bars from the main building, knowing that they're going to be made up there. I've made sure I remember food. And then what I'm going to need to do when I get up there is potentially prioritizing... Oh, maybe building onto the wreck an O2H2 generator. Because if I build an O2H2 generator onto the wreck, I can use that. Or maybe even... Oh, it's got a tank! It's got an oxygen tank. If I build enough stuff to bring... If I bring enough stuff to build a vent and... Yeah, that's it. And a power source, I'll be able to run that... run the vent to fill the oxygen tank to... Yeah. Easy. With a power source on the rack, I'll be able to refill my oxygen bottles, but I'll bring some extras with me, just so I've got a bit longer to get that set up. Because it probably won't be the quickest thing to get done. I'm hoping that in prepping to have a few pistons, a few hinges, some batteries, some turbines. I need to make sure I've got stuff for merge blocks as well. That I'll end up with enough to make this work. Oh, and I need to bring lots of motors, because there's one of those thrusters that's damaged. I need to have enough to repair it. Well, the cargo's full now, so... may just have to make do with what I got, because I don't think putting an extra cargo container on there is the right move. It will possibly make it too heavy for me to safely get up that hill. Just go with what I got. So, Lifty, let's go get some turbines up on those towers. Oh, shouldn't have done that with the tool out. Oh, that's going to be interesting. That arm is going to get very, very stretchy. Right, let's get a turret on top of this tower. I think what I'll do is... Not a turret. Let's get a turbine on top of this turret.
Energy low.
Come on, Splitsie, get your... get your head together. Too many T words. Yeah. Let's get a turbine on top of this tower, and then a turret on top of that one, and then the rest of them can be turbines as well. So I'm going to focus on the turbines first. Although, I'm going to focus on getting some oxygen bottles because I forgot to refill them before I came down here. Yeah, this little spot can get a turbine. Assuming I can find a way to park the Liftsy where it's not going to fall over. Have I still got the path to walk? No, I don't, because of the turret that's there. I can't walk past on the rail anymore, can I? Yes, I can. Maybe I'll do it that way. I often use these temporary bits. I still haven't finished this building, and the production building. There are lots of little bits of things I've got to weld around the place, which I need to get to. And yeah, turbine. Let's go turbine on this one. I think maybe a turret up here. Oh, I should have realized I could walk the whole way. I could have done the far one. Oh well. Guess it's going to be done with... No! No! Mayfly, inbound! Let's get down from here. This is not a safe place to hang out. Get down from here. Get the drone. Okay. Terminal. Remote. Control. View. Oh no! Still too slow. I really need to put that on a timer. Still too slow. I was quicker though. I was quicker. That mayfly got taken out though. That's good. As soon as I've done these turbines, I think I'm going to add that timer block to this thing so I have a single button, turn off recharge, get back on and disconnect. Also a camera that I can actually see what I'm doing. Would be handy too. Nope. Place it. There we go. Additional turret down. Now I can put the turbine down here. Then I might go to that drone. So many distractions tonight. Yay! Okay, net positive power by a teensy margin, but still.
Energy low.
Net positive power overnight while the refinery is running. I'm happy with that. Let's focus on the drone then. I like when it drives along, the almost wagging of the tail of the hitches on the back. Kinda cool. Splitsie, let's take you over to where the drone is, because that'll be an easier way of getting up and underneath the drone once I lock it down. Alright, let's get rid of this thing, because it was in a terrible spot. The right place for a landing gear would possibly be at the rear. Maybe if I'd gotten rid of the merge block, since I don't really need it once these things are built. And very much having a camera under here would be the right thing. It's weird using the Splitsie to work on such a small build, but it does work. And let's lose that other camera. Do the unsafe thing, the easiest thing. And now I need a timer block somewhere in this, so maybe I'll remove this light armor block here. And even though it's at the front, so it'll probably end up getting shot up, it's the spot I'm going to put it. You know, timer block for connecting and disconnecting, and probably don't have all the parts I need for this. I don't. Missing the steel plate and the interior plate. Dang. Well, at some point I'll replace that spotlight, but I can see the sun is starting to rise, so I need to... But I need to finish this off so that I can start prepping the crane for exit. So, let's go. Terminal, remote, control... Nope. Let's hover and do this all, because then there won't be quite so many things to get confused between. What do I need the timer to do? Timer block, setup actions. You are going to recharge on off, and switch lock. That should be safe. As well as... No, I might just leave the... let's turn the antenna on and off. In fact, let's not have the switch lock. All I'm going to do is have the antenna on off, the battery recharge, so that I reduce the power consumption once I lock, and I'll lock manually. So what I should be able to do now is come down, press lock, and then 5. There we go. And then when I need to take off, I can go terminal, quickly rush to remote. Need to figure out how I'm going to do that a bit quicker. And then it'll be timer, disconnect, reconnect timer. Yeah, that's much quicker. Cool. Drone should be able to, in theory, launch fast enough to actually do something useful. Let's get the Splitsie back safely inside. Then I might even start moving the crane, because it'd be nice to not waste any of the day heading up there. Although the sun, yeah, it's still not quite here. That's dangerous. Oh, that's what I'll do. Let's go grab some ice before the sun rises. Seriously? Ah, the Goofy's tire just popped. At least it was a relatively safe one to have pop. I'm going to leave before that becomes a bigger problem. I haven't had the Goofy pop tires before, I don't think. It's normally been quite resilient to such things, and I think that's partially because I've always driven very slowly while driving it. This could make it a little bit more tricky to get back. I've got one less wheel to push with. I have no means to repair it out here. You're kidding me! Oh no! So much for taking the crane up to the wreck. I'm gonna need to bring the crane down here so I can fix this. Ah! Oh man, this is gonna be dangerous to fix too. Why are they popping today? It's not okay. I have to. Oh no, I have to run back. In that case, I'm gonna refill my oxygen bottles before I do. Alright, back I walk. All the way home. The best explanation I've been able to come up with for why the wheels pop, based on my experimentation around the issue, is that it comes down to a physics glitch where the wheel actually ends up going through the voxel, and then the voxels cause damage to the wheels, causing them to pop. Now, that is more common the more stress you're putting on your PC. So when you're moving faster, the wheels are more likely to pop because you're loading in more terrain and you're doing more things like that. And that means it's more likely to happen where the wheel ends up clipping through a little bit and then taking that damage. Similarly, if you set your graphics settings up really, really high, that can cause it too. Or at least that caused it when I was testing it. The glitch where they popped happened much more frequently. So it seems to be on a particular physics tick, the wheel glides through because there wasn't enough processing time for the wheel to be prevented from falling through the voxels. Well, the crane's loaded up with a whole bunch of gear, so I should have enough to rebuild a wheel. What does a 5x5 wheel take anyway, just in case? Ooh. Would Manny be a safer option to use as a lift than using the whole crane? Oh, no, probably not. Probably not. Crane's going to be a bit more stable. Geez, the crane could use some more lights on the front. That might be worth fixing before I head up to the big wreck as well. There you are, Goofy. Rescue is on its way. Well, hopefully rescue. Hopefully this doesn't end up destroying both vehicles. Oh, that'd be very sad. I don't know why I'm laughing. Probably because that'd be the only thing stopping me from crying if that happened. So I figured that this crane is a better option for lifting up the Goofy here because the rotors will have a little more give in terms of I need to twist the Goofy's rear around more than just lift it straight up, whereas if I was using Manny, I'd kind of lift it straight up and it'd want to twist, but Manny would have to resist it, and Manny doesn't have any means to lock to voxels. So here, I can actually drop myself down and lock to the voxels and make this secure. Go and lock. Now, I kind of want to move off. Oh, is this going to be strong enough? Yeah, that's not the best spot for me to have locked on. Kind of need to try and roll it off to one side. Might need to put this down, try and pick it up from a better spot. May have done a bad thing. Let's go up. Then, if I help out, and maybe I'll be able to use the rotor on here to actually generate enough force to spin it around. Okay, let's add those wheels. Okay, wheels are on. Hold them up. This is working so far. Nothing disastrous has happened yet. It's possible when I drop this down, it'll spin to where it needs to be. Small possibility, but it is possible. And I can control. Turn off the parking brakes. This is working. It is definitely working. Man, I love this script for controlling this stuff. It has made it so much easier. Oh, let me push it out. Yes! And unlock. Oh, look at that. Goofy is righted. Oh, I'm so happy. Hold up, stow the crane. Oh, nope, nope. No, no, nope, did bad things. Okay. Let's go turn the Goofy's park brake back on. I don't like leaving vehicles without their parking brake on. And I'll take the crane back first, then I'll run down here, grab the Goofy, and drive it home. Hopefully without popping any more tires. That was kind of interesting. I won't necessarily say... Ah, yeah, it was fun. It was fun to have to use the crane for that. And it was kind of cool that it worked. It's also really hard to drive this out of here. Drive you home, grab the Goofy, then drive this up to the wreck. At least to see this has plenty of power, even with all that stuff in the cargo containers. No! No! Ah! How? Ah! That's both incredibly lucky and incredibly frustrating. I'm out of power on this. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get some power to it. I will probably shove a battery on here somewhere. I've got enough oxygen. I'll go grab the Goofy. I had intended to drive it up to the Panini wreck and then build its charging mechanism there, so to just slowly charge while I was using it. That was the plan, and it seemed like a good one at the time, but it wasn't. I guess what I'll probably be best off doing is using a day like this to get charge, work on the Arboretum, and then once I've got enough charge on the crane, then I'll head up to the wreck, which will probably be another whole day cycle. Because again, don't want to be driving up there during the darkness of the night. There we go, got power back. Where's going to be the easiest spot for you to hook up to? Could build something temporary off the side of one of these towers, maybe. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to unhook Manny, and I'm going to build a connector on the back of it. So Manny's got heaps of charge left. And Manny has his own hookup in his own building. Ah, it's a much better place to put it. This is definitely one of those, I really didn't feel like dealing with the power issues on the crane at the time, and every time I looked at it, it had enough power to get me by, so I didn't feel like I needed to worry. And then every one of those decisions that I made has just come back to bite me. Every time I decided, nah, it'll be right. She'll be right, mate. No worries, don't need to do anything. But no. No. She wasn't right. Don't have enough power. Now I have to waste a whole day. Alright, now the battery should get some charge. How long is it going to take? Like, how much charge am I actually going to get? Battery 2. Charged in 10 hours. Well, they are getting a moderate amount, though. Right. Well, that totally changes my plans because I can't use the crane yet. So what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to continue working on the Arboretum, which I plan to get distracted from maybe a week or two, but hopefully that'll mean next week I can fully complete it, or at least fully complete the outer shell and pressurize the thing, while I wait for the batteries on the crane to charge, so then I can go up, collect the, well, reassemble the Panini into a form that I might be able to fly back here, and then start working on turning it into a fuel hauler. So there's all that, and plenty more to come. And I will see you then.